Welcome back to Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. I am Devin from Virginia. Kind of weird to hear me here. I'm here today with my buddy Caleb from Virginia as well.
Hello.
And the usual suspects. We have Carmen.
What's up?
And Andy.
What is up, everybody?
And now we have the level 0 option for if you don't play cats. This is Zara. She is an Italian boat. This is all going to be about spaghetti ships and beer boats. Carmen's favorite.
Yo,
so
that's everything I'm about, actually, is spaghetti and alcohol.
I believe you.
Otto, when this Zara attacks, if all your characters are worship, choose 2 of your characters this turn, they get 1,000 power. And it is a JC. Pay 1, sack it. When one of your other worship characters is frontal attacked, you may pay cost. If you do, return that character back to hand.
This JC fucking slaps. I'm a big
so
fan
good.
of this. Double pump. Pump 2 lanes 1k. Can be itself. Plus, this card is super good. Big fan.
This is like the best card I can't fit into any list because Cats is somehow better.
Yeah, because see, the problem with this card is this card is super sick, and it's just worse than Cats. Minus for worse than Cats, but it's so good.
Yeah. Like, it would be an A in any other set, but because your level 0 lineup disappears, it's like...
Yeah, it disappears to Cats. Alright, moving on. Andy, go ahead.
Okay, I got this goth girl, big titty goth girlfriend. That's what I'm talking about. If the sum of levels of cards in your level zone is 3 or more, this gets 25 hundo. And hand on court. And we have another experience 3 during your climax phase when this is played by the standby. You have experience 3. You can send the climax to stand this. Choose up to 2 of your opponent's characters until the end of your opponent's next turn, and they gain the following effect: can't move. Carmen mentioned this earlier in one of the earlier colors, but that lockdown effect is a lot more relevant now as a tech effect than it used to be because of how prevalent Gura is and people wanting to stand by stuff out and then advance it the next turn to go for the kill. So could Azur Lane maybe be a good strategy to fight that, being able to lock down their Guras so they can't use them?
Yep. That is something that is much better for this card now than when it released. The fact that it just stands itself is kind of lackluster. It's like a standby deck that can kind of dunk on other standby decks by like freezing their stuff. Because its stuff isn't very big. I think one of the big things that we're gonna see with standby Azur Lane is that its options going from 0 into 1 are like pretty fucking miserable. And this card doesn't help. But the fact that this card can stun something gives 8 standby Azur Lane some kind of edge, despite its power really not being there until it hits level 2.
Well, it can stun 2 things.
Yeah, it can stun stuff, yeah.
And I could see that maybe be useful against other standby decks, like you said. Maybe like locking down something in their back row so they can't advance it, but maybe like using it as a sort of like a way to protect itself too, right?
Yep.
Kind of like you would with stand and swap. Instead of swapping this out of the way, you lock their thing down so it can't move in front of this.
Yeah, keeps its lane probably taking a chump by locking down the bigger lanes.
The big thing I've found with 8 standby Azur Lane is that it really benefits from playing these standbys from hand, because this is essentially your level 1 combo, your level 3 combo, which is technically your level 2 combo, plays the exact same way. So that that Kazuma with the Digicharacter draw card becomes pretty important to guarantee you have the right standby in your hand to play these when you want to. And we'll come on to the level 3 later, but this card being only 9,500 kind of is really unfortunate. Like, I wish it was just 500 power bigger.
Do you have any good ways to like pump it? Like any good assists?
There's a really good level assist for standby, and that's generally what I try to standby out first more than any 1-0 or 1-1 target.
Yeah, wouldn't that level assist be your 1/1 target at that point in time? Because a lot of the other stuff you're slamming from hand.
I don't know. I'm a big fan in general of just instead of like if I have the option to stand by a 1/1 assist, especially if I have a combo like this, that like at level 1 I want to play the standby to put my 2/2 on the field. If I hit like a standby at level 0, it feels better to me to set up like a 1/1 assist in the back row rather than just putting a random
Right.
1/1 in the front row that might get outclassed soon.
That is what I generally I try to do with this deck.
All right. Yeah, move on. Look at some targets here. We got this 3/2 rune. This is like one of the standouts of like standby targets here. If the sum of the cards in your level is on a 6 or more, it gets 1500 power in the following ability. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, you may pay 2 ditch 1. If you do, choose one of your opponent's characters. It gets -2 soul. And on play heal. So if you stand by this card in at level 2, you're lucky enough to like get this on a standby trigger. You can start fogging lanes really early at a like pretty decent cost. You can slowly still gain advantage while resolving these over time.
I mean, yeah, that's 11k before assists too.
So a lot of the level 3s have been experience 8. This one being experience 6 not only pairs it extremely well with the standby stuff, but it just feels so much better that you can start fogging lanes at level 2 instead of having to wait to level 3 to do a lot of your other level 3 stuff.
I had misread this at some point, and it actually looks like it reads a little bit better than what I had read initially. I'm willing to give it a B. Fun fact about Rune.
Standby, good.
Fun fact about Rune, though, she was never a ship that actually was built, but from her blueprints, most of her big, higher power guns were actually rear facing. So just like Germany in the tail half of the war, she'd run away from her problems and fire big guns at it.
Well, that's a big gun in the background. So.
I like how all of them have good lore. Like I've never like played or watched Azur Lane or anything, but hearing you like describe the stuff, it sounds like they were very true to like the characters and the actual ships they were based off of, which is cool.
Yeah, Arc Royal totally loves lollies in real life.
Yeah. And Rune is omnicidal as a character in the show and in the game. She is omnicidal, so she
What
is.
is omnicidal?
She
Everybody
is.
dies.
Yep. Yeah. Crank Yandere up past 11 and probably into 20.
She thinks peace is boring, and she wants literally everyone to die.
Sounds based. Black pilled and based, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next card.
Devin, right?
Devin, yeah.
Oh no, I got Frederick. Frederick de Gorse, on play heal, climax combo, experience 8. When this card attacks, if you have the door in play and you have experience 8, choose one of the following 2 effects and resolve it. Choose 3 cards in your opponent, up to 3 cards in your opponent's waiting room, shuffle them back into your opponent's deck, and then this turn this card gets 3k power, and then pay 2 pay cost. If you do, deal 4 damage to your opponent. This is Kurumi Light.
Missing the other deck break effect. One deck break effect without the other isn't nearly as threatening. But this card does heal. It is on door. It's fairly cheap. I think it's fine. It's just lackluster. Like, acceptable.
Basically, last shot without the discard.
Also, we skipped Caleb, so you can read the next one, Caleb.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, because
Yeah, 'cause we
Devin started.
Oh,
it,
we
so
went
it
out of
looped
order that
around,
time. Yeah. Whoops.
I was just
No,
counting to 4. I'm stupid.
it's okay.
Apologies, I stole Zara.
That's crazy. If this card had the on attack stock swap instead of the shuffle 3, I think this card would be really, really good. But if it just has the shuffle 3 instead off of Kurumi's stuff, then it's not really as poppin'.
I agree with that. It seems pretty. I feel like I'd usually just do the. If it were me playing this, I feel like I would default to option B for the burn 4 more often. But if you could compare it, I don't know. And this is coming from playing a lot of Grisaya with the Yumiko. Having the stock swap ability with a burn effect where you can choose one or the other, you know, if you have an impactful burn like deal 4, like a big punch, I would have liked Yumiko a lot more. I hate Yumiko because the burn 1 is never enough to matter to me when I'm playing it. But I always love the option to do the stock swap. So
yeah, mid attack stock
Yeah.
swap, mid attack deck break is just really good.
Yep.
All right, next.
Okay. This is this Italian ship Lebecchio. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that one right. Something like that.
Lucario.
If all your characters Lucario.
Yeah, Lucario. Steel
Yeah,
fighting.
this is Lucario. Steel fighting type.
Mm.
If all your characters are warship, that's where the steel comes in. This gets 2,000 power. That's where the fighting type comes in.
Okay.
When the standby is placed in your climax area, if this is in your front row and you have another warship character, choose one cost 0 or lower warship in your waiting room, place it on any slot. It does come in standing, but ultimately this has been the standby combo you don't play, basically.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You play this with Unicorn.
Lollies. What is it?
Lolly standby. Let's go.
Italians, we don't claim this. This can.
Okay. So how many different standby combos are there in red?
3.
There's 3.
Okay, because I was gonna say, in like an 8 standby deck, I don't hate this as a 1/1 target, because if you play this as a 1/1 target first and it's like a 1/1/7/5, you know, actually having a climax combo on it, like if you play it on a future turn, let's say, I don't hate that.
I mean, it has a decent target we're going to see here in a couple cards, but it just doesn't fit in with the game plan as much as the other standby combo.
Yeah, it's Graph is really good. And speaking of Graph, we'll talk about that soon. This is like acceptable. It is a plus. The card can attack. It is a 7/5.
I think this card would be much worse if the card 2 slides from now didn't exist.
Yeah. All right, next card. Back to Andy, all the way to the top. Graph.
Graph speed.
Look at this graph.
He is a badass, dude. Look at that.
She's got that skunk stripe going on.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. This card's in your front row. Everybody else gets 1,500. I love these. I love these type of cards with that effect on them in standby decks. It's always like the juiciest thing to hit, like mid attack step if you're at level 2. Just like overplay something in your front row with this. Just boost everything else. I love it. And then during your climax phase, when this is placed on this, so when you stand by this out, you can pay the cost, which is 1 and send the climax. If you do stand this, then this turn all of your characters get 500 power, and when this card's battle opponent is reversed, you can top deck it. So hard remove it from the field and hopefully push some extra damage by putting a clean card on top. Yeah, I love this. This card slaps. So like you stand, and I like it. It goes from like a very cohesive game plan from like level 1 into level 2. You stand by out the 2/2, which stands itself and attacks, and then at level 2 you just double down, do the same thing. Stand by this, it stands and attacks. And then it's pumping your field too.
Here's
like
a
stand buying
question.
your level 3 and pumping.
I have a question. if you have the graph standby in play, but you did not, oh, it's only during your climax phase. Never mind.
Yep.
I was about to say, can you align it if you
No.
if you just don't do it? And I was like, okay, no, you cannot. But yeah, Graph's pretty sick. The problem is my biggest problem with 8 standby Azur Lane in general is that I felt like if on my Graph turn I didn't hit another standby to put out another big body, I just didn't do anything. And that was like the biggest problem I had with.
If you hit and you get double graph on the field, that's got to be pretty juicy.
Double graph or like graph rune or like anything going on.
For sure.
Graph rune is like probably what you want.
Generally, I agree with that. The other problem is that sometimes this is not big enough, and if you're not getting the reverses to send the opponent to top deck, you can just like crumble.
Yeah, if you can't like get value off that.
However, doing this combo with the Drake that on reverse burn force turns your Drake into kind of like a, if you deal 3 damage, you get the 4th one for free.
Yeah, that is true. All right, next, 1-0 experience 2 during your turn. If you have experience 2, this gets 2k, so 6-5 on your turn. And then at the start of your opponent's attack phase, you can pay 1 and choose one of your other characters in the front row center slot specifically. Stand and swap them, and then this gets 15. So if you stand and swap this to the center spot, it becomes a 6k and dodges that character out of the way. So it's kind of like a pay 1 field backup that like saves your other character. It's just a way to be tricky and kind of stop your opponent from like pumping over your one valuable lane by having this card down. This is like one of your like costless level 1 gap cards in 8 standby. You don't have good like costed targets to play, so you just kind of play this.
Yeah, this pairs with the 1/1 that we don't end up playing, like the standby combo from 2 slides ago.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, but like there is just a 1/1 75 hand on court in the trial deck for Iron Blood. But even that's like still
I'm gonna
whatever.
be honest, this seems like fucking garbage to me.
It's more that it can just
stop. It just swaps and puts a 6k body in front, and it's limited to only the center slot. Because the extra 2,000 power is only during your turn.
It's more so that it can save a character from getting like a dot cheat or run over and sacrifice itself.
But it's only your center lane, though. Like, that's
yes, it is only your center lane.
It's restrictive.
Well, that's where you
no
put your
reason.
graph, right? That's where you put your graph. So if you put your take your graph out, swap it with this, you've saved your graph.
Yeah, and you can keep your graph for another turn.
I suppose, but I mean, your opponent can play around that too, because if you move your graph to the back.
Oh, no one's saying it's great, Andy. You're not wrong. No one's saying it's great. It's just that Azur Lane doesn't have a good like 0-1.
No, you guys are saying it's. You guys are saying it's decent. I'm saying it's bad. No one's saying it's great. I'm just saying it's not good.
It's a decent enough gap into your graph stuff. Like, I don't know. Leading up to level 2, I always felt like 8 standby Azur Lane did a whole lot of nothing. Which was always my issue with it and why I never wanted to play it. But I don't know. This was like okay. This felt better than the other card, which was the field backup. But we can just move.
Okay.
All right, Caleb.
Okay, we've got this gear. When this is placed on stage from hand and you have experience 8, choose one of the following 2 effects. You may pay 1, choose a climax in your waiting room, add it to hand, and then this gets 1,500 until the end of your opponent's turn. Or until the end of your opponent's next turn, the character across from this gets -2 soul.
They're really leaning into everything here with Germany, dude. They got Germany, they got the occultism, they got the like UFOs, they got the demons. You know, everything they were into.
I didn't know the Germans were into UFOs.
No, look, they were into a lot of stuff. We don't need to get into it.
Just
they were
fuck
nuts.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Indiana
Yeah, you never
Jones.
seen Indiana Jones? They were all about the occultism and the aliens and all.
It seems pretty good as a flex at level 3, like to like ensure you get into your climax for whatever finisher, or I guess shrink something. Although I'd rather have it have a burn, because this seems like a better card to like include in like other top, like not a red top end, but like, or I mean maybe there's a good top end later in red, but just something that's like a more kill them this turn top end by either getting your climax, or if you have your climax already, maybe like push some extra damage.
I like her style.
Yeah, the art is sweet. Red has all the best art so far.
I did get it for Frederick de Gorse, but yeah, and anything that heals instead of cantrips, trying to get into his climax. So
I think that's the deck it's meant for. It's just sometimes like
yeah, it helps you get your climax for the healing top end. All right, next is Devin. Go ahead.
Yo, I got Grapsoplan. So, place on stage from hand, it is plus 3k, so it goes up to 4/5. Climax combo with a door. When this card attacks, if you have door, and you have 6 or less hand, mill 1, then choose up to 1 level X or lower character from the waiting room. Add it to your hand. X equals the number, the level of the card milled. So this is level 0, Cinder. Yeah. Feels a little cringe.
55 on attack, climax combo. Not very good.
Not the worst. I mean, it's at least on attack, but I mean, we've seen better so far.
Yeah, I think there are better things to be doing.
At 0 slot, you have cats.
Yeah.
At 0
cats.
slot, you do have cats.
Now, actually, this gives me an idea, though.
No.
Mainly level 0 deck. This allows you to get zeros. This allows you to get Fuso. If you have Yamashiro still in your deck
It
somewhere,
does immediately loop to cats, yes. But you can
Wait,
also just play bar with a blue level 1 and just use Rico to get cats.
Or just play 8 pants.
Or do literally anything else next card. But no, I mean, it's a good idea. It just does get into your cats. Cats turbo.
It does.
All right, back up to Andy.
That's crazy.
We have this child. She should not be playing with that weapon. Bad parents there. If you have 5 or more hand, this gets plus 2,000 power. When this is placed on stage from hand, if you have experience 2, you can discard a card. If you do, choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters, and your opponent levels it down. Oh, wait, no. Choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters. Your opponent chooses a level X or lower character from their waiting rooms. Yeah, it does level it down.
It is level down.
Yeah, it's a level 0 level downer with experience 2. It's like the level 0 bouncer. It's like the same kind of thing, but you know.
I think that's pretty good, actually. Like, being on a 3,500 level 0.
Yeah, it's, like, totally fine.
Like, this seems like one of the most playable level down cards I've seen. Like, it's like a splashable...
At least it's a, like, 5th opener, right? At the very
It is a
very
level
least.
down you can... Sorry. It's a level down you can always get.
Yeah, you can always pick it up.
My thing with the I played this as a 2 of an 8 standby to just like play alongside cats, and it's just like, wow, my board is always massive.
Yep.
You got big guns.
All right.
Pew pew.
Next, 1/0. You have 2 or more other warship. Gets 2k. Then when your other warship character's front attacked, you can sack this to give one of that character 1,500 power. This is the field backup. You either play this or the stand and swap, or like some combination of the two. They're like fine. They're like not very good.
This is Sadalitz. She is a World War I ship. She was sunk during World War I in the North Atlantic.
Yeah, she can sink to the bottom of my deck box too.
Oh,
Yeah, I did not.
I will say I like this one better than the stand and swap personally.
I like this
I see your
worse
point.
than the stand and swap. Just because,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that's fair.
They're both bad. They're both not good.
Agree.
All right, Caleb, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the one I was talking about earlier. This is a level assist and then has an auto when a climax is played in your climax area, choose one of your characters, and this turn gets the following ability. You look at two, choose your trigger, and then you also have an act, which is rest this, look at the top card of your deck, and you leap it on top or put it in the waiting room.
This is like how you dig for another trigger. This is like the only card that can help you dig for another standby. It is
I think
decent.
Caleb just likes the art on this one.
I mean, the art is
I do really like U-47, to be fair.
U-47 is actually a really cool ship.
Is that a submarine or a ship?
She's a
submarine.
I was gonna say it says U, and all I know about German ships is there's U-boats. That was all I had there.
It's one of the few submarines I actually give a shit about in the game.
I think she needs some more clothes.
All her skins
fine.
actually add clothes to her, and that's I have those skins bought.
Okay.
Some of them anyway.
I think she needs clothes.
But this card is
aside,
rad.
I really, really, really like this card. AA is maybe a bit much. I mean, it definitely doesn't go in like every deck, but I think as far as like a standby target goes, I really like this. I mean, fuck, I played like 1/1 assists like
every line of text is relevant
like,
for standby.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Every line of text on the card is important for a standby deck.
Like if you standby it out early, you get incremental value throughout the game with the act effect at the bottom. And then every climax you play, you're then just setting up further. So it's just like a lot of static effects on a card that you want to standby out early, and I like that.
Because it doesn't say like specifically standby climaxes, I have thought about like trying this in the bar door build. But the problem is your back row is like kind of clogged with Taiho. But like knowing what you're gonna trigger with your restanders is some powerful information, I think.
Yeah, especially when you have the Mocha coming in. All right, last red card here. This is Devin.
All right, 1/0 events. Reveal top card of your deck, then search your deck for one level X or lower warship character. Show it to your opponent, add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. X equals the level of the revealed card. So it's Rico, but for your deck.
This card was like a super sick thought experiment until we realized that like there's no way to really abuse it. The fact that you can costlessly rip a card out of your deck with this, and like Rico generally being such a powerful effect, but this is like it like always exchanges for a playable, and it does rip that playable from your deck, but there was no real way to abuse it. But I do think that this like event is inherently strong as like a costless event. Like if we see this kind of thing pushed in the future, I think it could be very strong. But as it stands, it's just kind of eh.
I mean, I don't think I would ever play this kind of event over a Rico, because one of the advantages of Rico is say the discard outlet. So it's like this one doesn't do that. You're always trading the event as your discard. But
it's more that this one
is really strong.
It's more that this one like can compress cards actively out of your current deck for 0 cost.
Yeah, I think
oh, it is search. Oh my god.
I think it's like Carmen says, where if it's pushed to like, or if there's other stuff that works with it. Take for example like a cigarettes event. No one really ran cigarettes events raw usually, right? But you have something like say Sachi and Grisaya that's like adding cigarettes events to your hand, and then people are like, oh, these are like really good when you can start looping them, right? This could have sort of like a similar effect, right? Or if you have like some climax combo that like just adds this to your hand or something, and then next turn you can like just drop 3 of these, rip 3 clean cards out of your deck, loop your combo, like that sort of thing. Like
yeah, it like can get
better.
really strong that you can like costlessly rip a card pseudo selectively out of your deck is for no cost is like conceptually powerful.
If this card
Like,
had a
I don't think
bonder, I think
anyone's-
it'd be insane.
What do you say?
I think if this card had a bonder, specifically a deck bonder, it would be absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I can see
even
that.
a waiting room bonder would be even better, in my opinion.
No,
Mill
because
it
you rip
out.
2 cards out of your deck if you play the deck bonder.
Imagine this. You hit this on as part of your Taiho brainstorm. Then you go ahead and you play it, check top, add something cool, neat. You know what's on top. You play a bonder, on play bonder, grab it from grave, do it again.
There's just a lot of lines you could take with a card like this if it was like Andy said, like an event that you were like recurring and pulling back to your hand, but you're not, because it's just a standalone event. But cool design space. All right, finishing out red here. Notable profiles. Devin, did you have something? Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to say that this was the main resource that you use for the gacha in Azur Lane, Wisdom Cubes.
Okay.
So you gacha a character out of your deck.
Oh, that's okay. So that's the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, red notable profiles. Level 0. Come and play mill 2 if you get a climax among them, plus 1500 anywhere. But it is a ditch 1, sack self salvage. That profile is pretty good, even if it does have force mill 2 on it. That profile can be pretty powerful. This one is experience 2+. It gets 2k, so 104k, so 6k. Then on the turn is placed on reverse. You can pay 1, reveal top 2, and your opponent chooses your plus. Another level 0. This is a rest self to level swap, and then it's a spammable salvage brainstorm. This card makes its way in as like a deck speed patch in like non-bar builds, or even bar builds to like set red. I've seen this card come up.
Also for experience, because your experience is so strict. If you like, end up in an awkward situation where you have to level like a certain color, or like, I don't know, you just have only level 0s and 1s in your like clock when you go to level up. Like, it could save you.
And as a spammable salvage brainstorm, you could do a lot worse. Is it having it be another card? It's a very useful card. Other card is just reveal top. If you have character there, plus 1k anywhere, and then come and play and on death, ditch a character draw. It's a double filter, but only for characters. And then the last card is a assist 1k to level 0s in front, and it's a rest 2 search brainstorm for 5. So
make those cats even bigger.
Yeah, make the cats even bigger.
So I played that brainstorm in the A2 Soul deck, and I played against Tanner in the last event I was up there, and he was playing Zombie Lane, and I had one of these in the back row, and I had 2 cats in the front, and I just stared my opponent down and just was like, okay, well, do your worst. And he's like, I got nothing. I just crash.
It is funny because Zombieland loves playing those 0s, and they can't get over cats. Not easily, anyway.
Cats are pretty good. We're cool for cats.
We're gonna keep talking about it.
All right, let's move on to blue. Get through this here. Not too many things left. We'll just start over. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, I think, okay, yeah, we got the Smug Lolly. On attack, if you have 2 or more other warships, it gets 4k, so swings for 45. Only sits at 500, though, but that's okay, because when it gets reversed, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is level 1 or higher, you can pop this back to your hand. I think, in theory, this card is super dope. Like an opening, like, players, like an early game card, but probably don't have room with all the cats.
It is a standby card if I ever saw one. Also, she is a Russian boat. This is Pirmat America. Butchered that pronunciation.
But you know what? This is a good standby card. You know what I like about this, actually?
Only know this
is that it works
character
on
from,
turn and off turn.
You know what? We won't go there.
So my thing
this
with
character
card
is
that
very popular in the fan art.
Unfortunately, I think this card is outclassed by the neon cat coin flip, which is an uncommon compared to this double rare.
I think that card's a lot more
Probably also
disruptive.
true.
This card being
This
a
is
big
just, like,
beater is like,
big.
what if I told you the cats were bigger than this card? Oh, it's always the cats.
Damn it. Yeah, Neon Cat is better. And cats are better.
That's true.
All right, we got this. This is the Ricky. On play, pay 1, put a worship character from a waiting room at the bottom of your clock so it can set your color. When you play it, you pay that cost. If you do, switch your character for a level 1 or lower character, show it to your opponent, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. At the start of your climax phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a level 2 or higher character, or if that card is level 2 or higher, all of your characters get 500 power. That's pretty good, Ricky.
Oh, S- and A+.
I am a big proponent of Search Ricky, and clean Search Ricky is insane, and that this is an experience set also. So this is like how you hit it every single time.
Yeah, having
Like,
a
you play
clock
this-
set Ricky is pretty powerful.
And then knowing, because this card doesn't require it to be in the front row, by the way, for its second ability, and it's just every single turn you could know the top card of your deck for trigger information, and then maybe randomly everybody gets a 500 power buff. I adore this card. I don't even necessarily like Cleveland that much, but this card is awesome.
Cleveland,
What?
Ohio.
I was in Pittsburgh. I don't really like Cleveland either.
Yeah, we
but-
don't really like Cleveland either. Yeah.
I like Cleveland. She's a good lad. She's doing her best.
Cleveland, the city. I don't know. Cleveland, the card. I'm liking a lot. That's a really good point, Caleb. The fact that it
Yeah, I'll give it the plus.
is
For
every
the
single turn. The fact that it
experience.
sets your experience. It's like super synergistic, and like knowledge of the extra trigger is like. I'm always all about that.
And it gets a Fuso. So you can then ditch a heavy card.
You can then ditch a heavy
Cat.
card to get more cats. See, it all leads back to cats. Here's another card that can get your cats. You got the Bremerton. Another card very popular, in the character very popular in the fan arts. Caleb, go ahead.
Actually, can I request that Devin take this one and I take the next one?
Yeah, you can do that. Devin, go ahead.
Excellent. I have Bremer Thought here. You mispronounced
What
Bremer
the fuck?
Thought.
She's a good girl.
She looks like a thought.
She's got a voodoo like shrunken head. Anyway, when this card is placed on the stage of your hand, if you have another worship character, this card gets 2k power. So 7/5 swings. With pants in play, whenever you attack, if you have 2 or more worship characters, mill 2. Salvage a level X or lower. X is equal to the level of characters or cards milled. If X is 2 or more, this turn this card gets +1 soul. So this is a potentially 3 soul body that also gets you a card.
She's
From
big.
Grave.
She's
It
big.
just buff cigarettes, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
This-
crap cigarettes.
This
Here
is
you go, buy a cigarette.
it's like the Psychono 3 one, I think. I might be misremembering which card this is based off of, but this card's really good.
Carmen, did you say this is the card you ran at level 1 with? Or no, someone said they were running this
Caleb
as
did, yeah.
level 1 combo.
I
Set
run
of
8
cards.
pants, mostly because of the next card. But this actually still plays super synergistically with the Cats package, and what you're trying to do with Soul, and you get more triggers playing pants over bar, which is something that's can come up because you can turn more of your 2 swings into 3 swings. That's just a trigger advantage thing. Like, all the green stuff's still really good. I've just found that 8 pants works for what I want to do a lot of the time.
I could definitely see that. I really, really like that they just took cigarettes and made it better.
I played this
Right.
card a bit. It's pretty good.
I actually think this is the best level 1 combo in Azur Lane. It's just that the Taiho's at 0, so...
Yeah, Taiho's a level 0 combo. So I think Bremerton's fine. The fact
The
that she
fact
can
that-
pick up Fuso for free every time is good enough.
I think with Azur Lane, you were playing Turbo to an almost extreme. So being able to grab essentially a level 0, and then also just being able to push more soul is absolutely fine. It falls in line with the 1K1 style that Azur Lane is putting up. So I think 8 Pants will be better in the English meta than 8 Bardor. Or
I
at
don't
least
know
it will
about all
be
that.
parallel. Or at least it will be parallel.
Couldn't you? You have to be 8 Pants. Couldn't you also just be like Pants X, like Pants into bar, Pants into door?
You could do
Yeah.
Pants Store, yeah.
Or is there like a payoff card coming up for like 8 Pants?
The next card's a payoff card for most of blue, actually.
Yeah, we'll just
Well.
get into that right now. Caleb, go ahead.
Okay, so this is New Jersey. This is my favorite character in all of Azur Lane. So it's experience 6. If you have experience 6, all your Eagle Union characters get 1,000. So this isn't like locked to just her getting power, which we'll explain could be important here in a moment. It also heals on play, and then you have experience 6, pay 1 when this attacks. If you have the Pants in your climax area, you deal X damage. X is equal to the number of this card on the field. I really like burn 1, pay 3, I just did that wrong. Pay 1, burn 3, and this card actually has a package around it where you're not super punished for holding on to at least one of these, which we'll get to, of course. If you full field this, they swing at 12 because they're all Eagle Union traits, so they're buffing each other. And
It's swing for 13.
No, because it doesn't buff its own. Oh wait, or does it?
No, it does. So you'll be swinging 13 with Climax
Oh,
with no other assist.
Oh, I thought this first line of text was all your other Eagle Union gets 1,000. But that's even better, so I'll take that.
So
you can memory kick back up to like 16k or 15k at that point if you're sitting at 12.
Yep.
Sorry, Devin, go ahead.
All right, yeah, I was going to say I misread this experience 6 at one point. I thought it had to be in level zone as well. So I actually went ahead and did slot this into the 8 soul deck as 4 soul, 4 pants, and yeah, now I know. The more I know. Hey.
I think it's like fine. I think the payoff is all the resonate cards that go with this. This is the resonate package. But like as it reads, like card vacuously, I think this is pretty muted and actually not good enough for the modern meta. It's the resonate stuff that gives you a lot of like value that I think would make you want to play it, but the finisher as it stands is absolutely not good enough.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. Just like how far we've come, where like on attack, pay 1, burn 3 doesn't cut it.
Nope.
It's certainly not 12 instances of damage or whatever, but it is like relatively consistent because of the package it's played with, and then you can modular this with like off finishers and stuff.
Yeah, you can like
and...
you can make it a little bit more precise.
Dude, I mean, fuck, dude. If you try field this and your opponent's like at 3-0 or something, right? Like they're probably dead, or I mean, you have a good chance at killing them if you're doing 6 instances of 3. It's still pretty solid, right?
Well,
no.
I think at 3-0 doing 6 instances of 3, if you can unicorn afterwards.
Yeah, that's the spice.
Maybe you're taking them over deck and they refresh point.
Yeah,
I guess the thing about this too, like every other level 3, is that the stock cost on it is very cheap because they're also gating it with the experience condition. But the entire set is built around achieving that experience condition. So every single level 3 in this set seems to just have like an undercosted effect because it has a big experience on it. So what I'm getting at is you probably have the stock and overhead to be able to then do a unicorn to like get there.
The unicorn does make this a little bit better. It adds to the chip, right? I think this is a precision finisher. Precision finishers are fine. It's just that all these other off finishers are in a myriad of colors for experience 8. It's a lot to put together, actually.
One, I wanted to note this here. If you get alternate rarities in a set, they are basically all reskins from the game. And I definitely bought this SP as soon as I possibly could afford to.
There's a lot of cake.
Just as a little bonus of to anybody looking to buy into Azur Lane, even the SRs, it's not just the SPs, it's the SRs too that will come with alternate art with their skins on them.
Speaking of
really
SRs
cool,
in
actually.
blue, I have some cards in here as SR because I can't put the base rarity on this channel because I don't know what YouTube will do about it. We'll get to that when we get to them.
Oh, really?
So we can get to the next cards. Back to the top, Andy. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, we have this child.
Destroyer.
What?
She's a destroyer.
Sorry,
So it's a
destroyer.
lolly. If it's a destroyer, it's a lolly.
She is a destroyer, yep. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a worship character, you can side attack without penalty. It's pretty nice. And when this is front attack, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is a climax, return all of your front row characters to your hand. Oh!
This card is really funny, but it's not.
Hold up.
Imagine slapping down.
It is able to be taken advantage of by your opponent, probably. Because, like, at first read, it sounds really good. But then it's like, okay, if your opponent's over your stuff anyway and they don't want you popping back, they could just, like, swing at those lanes first and, like, side this. But returning all the cards to your hand is not optional. If you have a bunch of big shit, let's say, in your front row, right?
Yeah,
you can front this and just pop your whole field back to your, like 3 win triggers.
I'm giving it the plus just for the first effect. In some metas, maybe that is a thing you want, but
I think the other effect just like ruins it.
The other effect is like really funny.
Maybe if you're side attacking for free, then you're probably losing field. So they would probably side this so your other lanes don't pop back. But I don't know. Your opponent gets to entirely control that second effect, and I think that makes this card an F. That can be a huge drawback.
It is
cool card though.
All right, next. 1-0. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, if you have a climax in your climax area, you can stock the top card of your deck, blind stock, and then resonate. At the start of your climax phase, you can reveal the New Jersey from your hand. If you do, this gets 2,000 power. With the climax down, this will be 7-5 on reverse, blind stalker. Pretty standard profile. But if you are playing the New Jersey, which is, stock gated, resonating is usually stock gated for pluses and stuff in the mid game. So having a blind stalker available makes everything infinitely better. So I like this. C+ only because you only play it with New Jersey. But I think it's like definitely a necessary card. Without this, I don't think the New Jersey stuff would be as attractive.
The one thing I will say is that I've played the New Jersey stuff even without its combo, and part of the reason is this card. The other card that we'll come to is probably more of the reason, but this is part of it. Like getting a 7-5 swing and then like getting a stock for it is just like generally pretty nice.
Like the costume here, very red, white, and blue. Very 4th of July.
This is her name. Independence.
All Eagle Union, yeah.
Oh, really?
No, this is Independence. So
very spot on.
All right, next. Caleb, go ahead.
All right. If all your characters are warship, this gets 1500 power and hand encore. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, if you have a climax with a pants trigger, you can look it up to 3, take 1, and discard 1. Why do I have to discard?
Because it's not a
It's
combo.
not a climax combo.
Yeah, but I'm paying 1.
And it needs a reverse.
And getting a reverse.
It's like fine. This is like okay, but I don't think any deck needs this card. It's like a C minus. She's cute though.
That's true.
It's Massachusetts. Apparently, she and John Bart have a love thing going on.
Oh,
ooh la la.
That's true. I remember that.
I think they actually fought in the Mediterranean and well, Massachusetts, sunk John Bart.
But in game.
But in game.
All right, Devin, this is yours. Next card.
Ooh, Shangri-La. So, climax combo. Pay 2. This ability can only be activated up to once per turn. At the end of this card's battle, if you have the pants in your climax area, you may pay cost. If you do, reveal the top card of your deck. If that card is a worship character, stand this. And then auto resonate. Reveal the New Jersey at the start of your climax phase. You may pay cost. If you do, this turn, this card gets 6,000 power. So she goes up to 13.5 by herself with combo input.
She's a 2/1 restander.
I wish this was Bell. I'd pay the extra cost if it didn't have a top check.
Oh,
I'm not really
wait.
a fan. I guess
it
you
can
could
whiff.
combine it with
F. It can whiff. F.
Yeah.
F.
It's like, yeah.
F
It
plus
can-
plus.
Whiffing
Since it swings big.
and it's end of this card's battle. It's like impossible to set up. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck that.
That's pretty fucking bad.
All right, back to Andy.
I thought you curated this set review, Carmen. What the heck? Why'd you put that card in here?
That was a climax combo. Climax combos are automatically included.
It's also technically part of a resonate package.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. All right, I think we're back to me for this one.
Yep.
I like the outfit she's got going on. She's a working woman. She's got the tie. Very professional. Two or less. Huh?
This is Essex, by the way. Cool
Essex?
Ship.
Yep. Can't spell that without you know what.
Ha.
2 or less climaxes in your waiting room. That's minus a level. When this is played on stage from hand, draw up to 2, discard 2, and then blind stock. Then another resonate with the New Jersey. Start of your climax step, reveal it. If you do until the end of your opponent's turn, this gets 2,000 power. So assuming you have the New Jersey to resonate, this early plays, you draw 2, ditch 2 blind stock, and it sits at 11.5. I mean, if you're playing, I kind of agree with what Carmen said earlier, that like the green early play seems like the cream of the crop here, but did you play this in your 8 pants deck, Caleb, just because like it already works with everything?
Yes. Sitting cross turn is actually a pretty big deal since Nagato doesn't. So if you have an extra stock threshold, and like it's also a discard outlets if you're triggering too much. Also, it's just really good blue experience that you can set early with your clean Ricky. Like that, I play it more for that than any of the effects that are printed on this card.
I think 11.5 is pretty good, actually. Like, I don't think I'd play this without New Jersey in my deck.
For sure.
But I think since you already have the New Jersey, like an 11.5 cross turn body with the draw 2, ditch 2 blind stocks seems pretty nice. I can dig it.
This is like the most playable, like the second most playable early play in the set is this one. I think it's pretty decent. You need to have New Jersey in your deck to play it, I think, at its most optimal, but
Fun fact, if I remember correctly, this ship also picked up one of the moon landing crews.
Oh, that's rad.
That's pretty sick.
Also, she gets drunk pretty easily.
That's funny.
She's also very jealous of Enterprise.
Always.
All right.
Even though I think she's cuter.
Whoa!
It is pay
Important
2.
card. Important card. So we got the Restander. This is this ability can only be activated up to once per turn. During the turn that is played from the stage from your hand, at the end of this card's attack, if you have 4 or more other warship characters, you have to have a full board, you may pay cost. If you do, which is pay 2, ditch 1, sack one of your other characters. If you do, stand this. And then it has experience 6. If you have experience 6, it gets 3k. So it's base 13, Slim Climax 14. So how do you do this with it requiring full field? And how do you have 2 and play Bismarck, right? Because we said we want to pair this with this Bismarck. I hop back to it. Well, you pair it with this card. That's why this card is in the deck. Not only does this 1/1 Clock on Core set your color, because you play like 5 red in that deck. And you only need to have 1 Bismarck. You have South Dakota down, and then you sack South Dakota, and then stand this back up, and you get 5 swings with 4 mochas, and that is like your optimal finishing board. Pretty good. But without the Tai-Ho to build all that stock, and without exactly that 1 card to Clock on Core, it wouldn't work. But thankfully, you know, Azur Lane has so many goddamn cards, it worked out. And I agree, it's B+. It's like a role player card, but it is good.
I actually put this in my New Jersey deck because my friend plays Charlotte, and New Jersey can't work when you're playing against anti-burn.
I don't know if you answered this already, but do you have to? Because you have to sacrifice the character to do this, so you have to pay 3 to hard encore that character, right? If you want to double.
Or you use South Dakota, which is Clock on Core.
Or use the summon Ricky to do it immediately.
Okay.
Like
but you could theoretically just hard encore the card you sacrifice,
yes.
right?
Yes. Because it's on attack, so the character would be back on stage by the time the next attack happens.
Yeah, seems pretty powerful.
All right, move on here. There's a payoff card. Caleb, go ahead.
Okay, so this is Baton. Auto. This can only be activated once per turn. When you use a Resonate, you may pay cost if you do draw a card, which the cost is discard a Climax. Resonate, pay 1, reveal the New Jersey, look it up to 3, take a warship, ditch the rest. This card is like the actual reason to play a New Jersey package at all in your deck. I think this actually works really well in 8-bar if you want to go blue. If you want to play blue as your other color, being able to ditch bars from your hand and get a plus is a lot for a Resonate 1. And at that point, your extra New Jerseys can fill experience requirement. You can play Essex in your deck if you want that, to just have a big, early play on board alongside your Nagato stuff. And generally, I think this card's actually, my bias aside, is probably better than just like the text on New Jersey. But yeah, this card's rad, and I'm glad they made an entire deck around my favorite character.
I don't know. For me, I'm looking at it, and it just doesn't really seem that good to me. I'm surprised that you're saying this is like the big payoff card for it, because I figured like.
Okay, wait. Hear me
there's
out.
A lot of other ways to discard a Climax, and like the Resonate, pay 1, reveal the card, look it up to 3. I don't think the second effect is like that groundbreaking.
Wait, no. Resonates are fucking broken.
Did you ever play
play one +1 modular deck speed is fucking broken. The upside of Ditch Climax, draw one, I could take it or leave it. But a Resonator and Modern Year is fucking broken. The fact that you have a Stalker means that no matter what other combo you decide to play in your New Jersey deck, you have a way to turn stock into immediate card. So, like, the Resonators are just always good. Like, there's no way it's like worse than like a B. Like, the Resonators are like a guaranteed plus is just so fucking good every turn.
It's so good. I went ahead and I dropped one of the 2 souls just to run this card, so I had a guaranteed plus every single turn.
Because I could have swore stuff like this was in like recent sets and just didn't really see play.
It really depends if you have a way to generate excess stock, right? Like, say you're like insane and you play bar pants. You have so much extra stock, you just like generate a ton of. If you have any way to generate free stock, a Resonator is nuts because it's just free cards. And the Blind Stalker is like more than enough.
The other notable thing for me, if you're running other Resonate stuff besides this card, is that the first ability can activate even when you're resonating for other card abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if your Essex lives cross turn and you're like, oh, I'll draw, and oh no, I have another Climax I don't want, you can resonate at the beginning of Climax step, gain your cross turn power, and ditch it into your refresh.
Okay. I mean, I'm not doubting that the Resonate effect is good. Like the pay 1, reveal the card, rest it, look at 3. But I don't know if, like, I think that is very good. But, like, I don't know if this is, like, the defining card of the package to me. At least for me, I don't think I would play New Jersey just to play this card. I feel like I would play this card because I'm already playing New Jersey.
I think it's a 4-3 split. No matter what you do, you want to have this card. You want to have New Jersey. You want this to be on your board. You'll always plus a card with this. You'll always find something to grab it.
Well, maybe I worded that wrong. I think you would play both of them in the same deck every single time. But I think, like, in my deck building, like, decision making, right? Like, going kind of off what Caleb said, where, like, it sounds like this was more the main reason you were playing the combo. I feel like, for me, I feel like I would choose, like, my combo first, and then, oh, I'm already playing the New Jersey. I'll add this in, and it probably, like, works well together. Like I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do. For me, ultimately, it is about playing New Jersey. When I was first started building Azur Lane, it was all just like, what can I throw New Jersey into? And then this card ended up being an overperformer, so I will sing this card's praises a lot. If I'm not playing the pants combo at all, like I was doing an 8-bar for a little while, this card helps you ditch excess bars in a way that some of these other, like, auxiliary level ones just can't, because, hey, I want to be comboing, but I got to play this auxiliary level 1 to ditch these stuff out of my hand, and being able to do it from the back row because they don't have, like, a generic one that's, like, meant to sit in the back row, is the reason I think this card shines more than maybe it would in your typical set.
Yeah,
There's no back row Climax support. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I think that, and then too, like, that opens up other build possibilities. You can even run, like, split build, 6-bar, 2 pants, be able to pick up bars off pants if you need to grab them, and then two, like, and just have like 2 functioning finishers that to do 2 different things.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. I think Caleb had a pretty good explanation there.
Yep.
All right.
I think we're
We
good.
can
We're
move
good to
on
move
here.
on, probably.
This is Devin. Go ahead.
All right. This is Sovietska Rosaya. When this card is placed on stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If that is a worship, choose one of your characters and give it 3k power. And auto discard a card placed on stage from hand. You may pay cost. If you do, choose a level 0 or lower worship character in your waiting room and place it on any stage in any slot. Or on your stage in any slot. Yeah. Nope, this card's pretty darn good at getting Brainstormers back. And JC's.
Yeah, you can infinite JC with this card too.
Yeah, I like playing this card. I play a couple. I play like 2 of these. Board blue.
Like the second effect is like technically worse than Neptune, but like it's in such a more playable color, and it has an extra line of text on it.
And you get to see the top card of your deck. Like
we love knowledge out here.
Yeah, this card's actually really.
It also works really well with Shimikaze, which already gets big. So then you're just, okay, cool, plus 3k. Let's go.
Yeah. 3k is a lot.
Big swing is big.
All right, next. Back to Andy.
You got Eagle Lady. Look at that bald eagle.
USA.
When this card attacks, all your characters gain the following ability until the end of turn. Counting yourself again. When this card's trigger check reveals a climax, you can discard a climax, salvage a worship. Yeah. And then start of your climax phase. If this is in your front row, you can resonate the New Jersey. If you do, choose one of your other characters. It gets 2,000 power. Seems like, again, another good card to pair with the Shimikaze. Because it doesn't have to be pants for this card. It could be anything. But yeah, the concept of a blue-green deck is really appealing to me here.
There's so much filter, you can probably get away with it.
You know, I never found space for this card in my New Jersey decks, actually, because I shoved cats into it, and then before I was playing JC in Baltimore to do, like, Rico stuff. Slots is, like, honestly an issue for me choosing what to play a lot of the time, but there's no denying that this card is pretty good.
It's an issue for all Azur Lane decks, honestly, because of the cats. The cats being so strong and eating 8 slots, it comes up constantly.
I mean, even before I knew, like, put the cats in the deck, I was having slot issues to find the room for that card.
Yeah, it just doesn't get any easier.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, next card, we got this 1/0 climax combo. On attack, this gets X power. X is equal to the number of your other worship characters times 500, so another 7/5 attacker with climax down. On attack, if you have the pants in your climax area, choose a worship character in your waiting room, add it to your stock. Who cares? Who cares? It's literally whatever.
Yeah, compared to the green Brainstormer, this is nothing.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
she's
not,
cute.
like, completely terrible, but why would you? I mean, I guess if you wanted to do a stock charging New Jersey deck, where your back row is eaten up by your Resonator or whatever.
Yeah, if you had double Resonator down and you play this, then okay. It's fine, but that's a little too slow. That you're getting your pluses on the follow-up turn as your primary pluses. A little bit too slow. Alright, next. Caleb, go ahead.
Okay, this is San Francisco. When
Is
this
that a
is...
baseball bat?
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
They're hitting real hard on the Harley Quinn vibe.
I was gonna say, yeah, it made me think of Harley Quinn.
When this is placed on stage from hand, you can choose one of the following effects. You have heal 2 stock. You have this gains 4,500 power. Notably not the no backups effect, unfortunately. And then this turn, all your characters get 1,000 power and a soul. And then when this card attacks, it gains 3k if you have another warship on the field.
If you have one slot and you're in blue and you have no idea what to do with it, just put this card in your deck.
I really wish the second line of text had the no backup stuff.
Yeah, no backups would have given this like truly 3 really good niches, but instead it's just 2. I think it's just healer or like global soul. I don't think the second effect is actually text. I think it's flavor text.
It does not exist.
It's like maybe if you need to get over a great performance or something.
Yeah, it would be really nice if that was just no backups on this card's attack and actually no power. That would have been better. All right, Devin.
Ooh, I've got Washington. So on placement, rest one of your standing characters. Pay cost on play. Your opponent chooses one of their climaxes in their waiting room and shuffles all the other cards back from their waiting room into their deck. And on attack, this gets X power. X equals the number of characters, other worship characters you have times 1,000. This is your Fumio. This is your decompression tool.
Yeah, this is your only deck break. So you play it. C+ for it being the only option. That's it.
Actually, now that I think about it, this card breaks great performance even better, because if you field 2 New Jerseys with this, you swing at like 17k.
Yep. It's your only decompression option. So if you have any blue in your deck at all, you play this. Because without
I think it's probably worth splashing blue for this.
Yes.
If you're doing anything with the cats, like anything where you're like swinging big soul, big soul, big soul, and that's like your strategy, like
without this, your opponent can just take advantage of you. So you just have to put it in your deck. All right, next, back to Andy.
Yeah. Casablanca. Ooh, that's a cool name. Can only be activated up to once per turn. When you use Resonate, choose one of your characters. It gets 1,000 power. And then it has, at the start of your climax phase, you can reveal New Jersey. If you do, draw a card, then discard a card. So just every turn, rest this, reveal, draw ditch, and give 1,000. Yeah, I think I'm with Carmen. It seems like kind of middling. But I do appreciate that there is a lot of Resonate cards, that like every single thing has Resonate. And there's a lot of different stuff to go with the New Jersey. But I don't know. It seems like it'd be tough to fit all that stuff, especially if you're trying to jam cats in there. Like, where do you find room for the actual like Resonate toolbox?
Yeah, out of slots. No slots for this. All right, last card. This card is the foil. If you've seen the base rarity, you know why.
It's Albacore.
When this is placed on stage from your hand, if you have 2 or more other characters, you can draw a ditch. And then it is a drop search. So it is a level 1 drop search, which is like usually good filter. Because even swinging in at 5k with a climax down is better. And it's a double filter. I don't play this, but this shows up in the blue level 1 bar door decks quite a bit as an option. I think it's fine, but I like the grave-centric package with like Rico and that summoner that we looked at, the level 0 summoner. I like that a little bit better. But I think this card's fine. And again, you're not allowed to play the base rarity of this art, or you get thrown in jail. That's why I use the SR art. And to finish this out, another art swap here. The third card again. You know why. Blue notable profiles. First one, common play reveal top. If it's a character, plus 2k, and then it's a pay 1, ditch 1, drop salvage, and then it gives 1k to other. So that's pretty good. Like the card's already 2k, so that's swinging in at 4. And then it's a drop salvage, pretty good. Then there's this 3/2. It's a stock healer, and then if you trigger pants, your opponent force mills 4 cards. That's pretty funny. Might be deck break, might be bad, depends. But it is a stock healer. The level 0 that I just mentioned with a different art. When you trigger pants, you can ditch 1, pick up to 2, add 1. So pants filter. And then it says act, rest itself, give 1500 anywhere. So actually a pretty decent card. Just a pretty simple one. Only play it if you play 8 pants, really. Other card is also pretty decent. It's a rearrange top 2, Climax Salvage. Decent filter. One of these double pumps where come and play plus 1500 anywhere, on attack plus 1500 anywhere. That's a lot of power at the right power thresholds, depending on your deck. That's the difference. Like this card can single-handedly like win you 2 lanes against Alice if you're hitting at the right powers. It's pretty important. This other card's pretty interesting. It's 1k to others on opponent's turn, and then his act, pay 1, ditch 1, rest this, salvage. Do that every turn. Pretty cool. 1/1, come and play Scry 1. It's bottom deck Adachi. If you're not in yellow to play the other one that's a backup, you can play this blue one, and then come and play Scry is always fine. 3k memory kick backup, that exists. And then there is a 2k to front level 3s on this 2/1, and then whenever you trigger a pants, just ditch 1 salvage. So that's that really good Spriggan Kirito effect, but on a 2/1, as it has been relegated to after Spriggan Kirito was banned long ago. Although it's at this point, I think it's come off. I think it's just Heathcliff and other stuff now. But they normally do not print that like straight up ditch any card salvage when you trigger pants on level 0s anymore. It was
unless your name is Mob Psycho.
Way too good. Yeah, only Mob was deemed weak enough to receive that effect. But
for all the boys out there, I just did some research, and I can confirm that card Carmen mentioned is not going to get printed in English. They are going to change the art on that one.
You think so? Well, we'll see. Maybe they'll make the SR the normal art. We'll see.
Also, apparently I lied. There's 2 pants trigger specific ditch 1 salvage, but I think the resonator is just outperforms those cards.
All right, well, this was a good one. Azur Lane was one of the bigger ones. One of the reasons why we started to curate, and this is still, you know, a 4-part set review for the first time in a while. We've been able to compress them to 2-parters. But, you know, it's a lot of cards. And people are pretty excited for this one. Azur Lane's a pretty beloved property. We loved having you 2 on. Do you guys have any shout-outs before we get out of here?
I do. I actually want to shout out Devin himself for getting me into this card game, almost 4 years ago now.
Thank you, man.
Met a lot of great people, including these nice people from Pittsburgh. I don't know where I'd be without this game. I've met a lot of great people from it, and I just wanted to say that publicly.
Yeah.
Here.
Weiss is definitely a very welcoming game. I think it's that's one of its best aspects. Really good community. Devin, you got anything?
I mean, shit. Yeah, no. Shout out to you guys. Really, like, thank you for having us on. Thank you for like tolerating us while we're rambling about anime cards.
What do you mean? That's all we do.
Oh, word. Yeah, nah, it is 11:50.
Yeah, it's a late one.
No.
Oh, good. I appreciate the lore, the explanation of all the lore.
Yeah, the lore was super welcome because Andy and I don't know shit about this this property beyond you know, the unmentionables that everybody knows from Twitter. But okay, in terms of, yep, go ahead, Devin.
I did want to also give another shout out to my local Richmond crowd, like Thomas, Absolute Goat, Leticia, Goated. Y'all are great. Thank you for coming into the game and playing. Those were my Pokemon people. So yeah, just wanted to give them a quick shout out.
A lot of Pokemon players love Weiss, and vice versa. Something I found recently. A lot of the same skills tested between the games.
I actually came from Pokemon, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same way you like process cards in Pokemon and like how you play Weiss is pretty similar. But yeah, in terms of upcoming content, we got more set reviews, we got more deck techs, all the good stuff. Depending on how things go over the next couple weeks, months, might have to slow down the content schedule to every other week. I really don't want to do that. None of us want to do that, but it's getting harder with you know, travel season coming up. Like I'll be in or I'll have been in Toronto this past weekend, going to Chicago, traveling for other events. Like we have, again, we're talking about Pokemon. We got Pokemon Regionals in Pittsburgh next week. A bunch of other stuff coming up. So hopefully that doesn't happen. You know, you got the quicker gap content, I'm sure you've noticed on the channel, the memes and things like that crop up on the off weeks, just to sort of like break things up but still put something out. But we're still in there. We still got plenty of things we have to do. Next English exclusives like Guilty Gear, that's like quite a while off, but I think we're pretty excited for that one. That should be really fun. I'm pretty hyped. I mean,
they announced a bunch of sets for English too, like, right? We got to do Ari Ferretta, right?
Yeah, we have to do ARI. And our local Brandon has that, so we'll make sure to get him on. I really like playing that set as well, so some cool stuff in there. But yeah, that's all the stuff we have on the horizon. And you got anything else in the close?
Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz signing off. We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.